Now, officially welcome on this beautiful day. And thank you so much for joining and your support. I tried to make this available last minute, or this morning I was getting strong guidance just to make this available publicly, and then the replay as well, because the more people can join in, the better. I also find that although I have a short invite, or shortish, I mean, I don't really do short, but invite to the event, that most people don't really see that you need to really sign up, so if you can donate, that would be super awesome. The suggested donation was 22 euros, but if you can't, or a smaller amount, I totally understand, or I'm grateful for anything, because we're all trying to, survive. And I'm trying to do this, full time, instead of going out to do, I'm trying to expand my business and trying to live off this instead of, doing a normal job, because we're here to bring in those changes as well. And any course you make or any activation you do, it's all an investment into your soul as well. So, but I also know what it's like not to have money. So that's why I made it available for everyone. And also because this will be quite powerful. That's what I've been getting today. I think we've all felt the energies have been continuously very powerful lately. So it's hard to find a day where it's not. But because there was obviously yesterday the beginning of the new galactic year and a new 13-year cycle, or 13,000-year cycle, based on the Mayan calendar. Many of us will have seen this somewhere on Facebook. The energies were quite strong, and they continue to be so. So it was also the opening of the Lion's Gate, because it's really a gateway. It's not just one day. So the highlight is the 8/8, which is the official Lion's Gate day, so to say. And then it finishes on the 12th of August. So it's really a gateway where we are asked to be really empowered now, because we really have entered new timelines and more ways than just one. I mean, we're continuously doing this because it's really more like a fluid experience when we are in a higher timeline now, when we really, it's more like a flowing instead of feeling. It's like, oh, I'm in this reality, and then, oh, I'm in this other reality, because everything is a timeline, whether we're going to work or whether we're going down to the shops or interacting with different people. But it's becoming more and more of a fluid experience. But the last few weeks have been very, very, very intense, because we've been going through this deep clearing to be ready to migrate to this higher timelines, because we have to clear out within, in our physical, mental, emotional, spiritual bodies, all of our energetic bodies, but also planetary, collectively. We have been going through deep purging over the last few weeks, and also downloads, activations. It's been continuous, and it's brought me to my knees a few times. So I've been really doing a lot of resting. I've been feeling very weak at times. And then today, there was so much energy. For the first time, I could dance again around, which was very good. I felt these bliss and divine love and peaceful energies come in on the day out of time, which was Thursday. But then there was a kind of interference, a lot of interference I felt in the field yesterday. And that was really, I mean, it's all part of the last desperate attempts of, the negative agendas to interfere in our ascension, and that which is inevitable. Now, there's a lot of stuff going on, but I felt I was being led into a false sense of security, and then you have this stuff again. But the best thing we can really do is keep focusing on our clearing, doing a lot of that, especially when it feels very dense and we feel heavy, or a lot of clearing going on, we're not all that happy, is to really keep clearing our vessel. And then if you feel called to planetary work, by all means, extend it out to everyone, and to Gaia and the kingdoms. So but there has been a lot of clearing up. So this is you know, only possible because of everything we have been doing. And we're at a great time now, where a lot of changes, I think, outwards are going to be coming to manifestation, because we have been going for so much inner change, and just because the times we're in, and it's going to just roller coaster because time is speeding up, and you know, we are really trying to transcend time and space here with the ascension process, or you know, realizing really the way we perceive time is not quite the only truth. You know, we obviously still need to interact with people, or you know, keeping up appointments, but otherwise it becomes really quite a timeless experience. At least that's what I found. So a lot of water helps with these ascension symptoms. There has been a lot of physical purging as well. Salt baths, you know, take maybe some extra vitamins. I've been doing this, like taking extra greens. I'm also taking niacin, which is very good for the nervous system. It's a B, I think, 3 vitamin. You need to look it up, but it really helps me. And anything, you know, from essential oils. I swear by salt baths when I feel really achy, especially as we are getting through a lot of DNA activations and light body activations. Now our body is constantly changing and receiving so much light now, and it's just purifying. I mean, we are constantly fine-tuning, and you know, there is not really an end to it as such. So it's best to just stay in the present, because that's what we're being asked, to let go of control and manipulation, because this just feeds into those realities we don't want to experience, you know, from the patriarchal system that is now crumbling. And there has been also a lot of, I felt, a pre-clearing through the Lightworker community of what is going to come in now and playing out on the world stage. So, you know, things like disclosure. I mean, the truth is coming out. It's within, you know, we are getting greater and greater realizations as part of these huge pineal activations, crown, our soul stars, stellar gateways, the whole, you know, system. As the heart opens up, we can then open up our higher transmitter channels. So we are getting more of our own soul truth. And obviously, again, this would then be reflected back to us through our environment, through certain truths coming out in the collective, which may be quite shocking. And I feel we've been clearing a lot of that, especially kind of to prepare the field on how to react to certain truths, to be able to stay balanced as we're getting triggered maybe and angry. And because there has been a lot of, you know, tension and anger as well in the energies. So it's, you know, also connected to other timelines that we have been clearing. So Atlantean especially, and then also Lemurian, and it's really merging. So what we're doing is we're taking out, and you know, it's not all consciously, we all have a different experience of this 9 different stages of this process. But what's really happening is like a merging of these timelines, where we're picking out, you know, those things that will serve us and those things that didn't. So for example, the manipulation and the mind control from those Atlantean timelines and a misuse of power has to go, because that cannot withstand a 5th dimension timeline, because that's what it brought down. So if we haven't if we have, you know, whatever past life experience of Atlantean timelines that shows us what went wrong, maybe in our own personal timeline or collectively at that time, that's nice. It's always helpful, but we don't need to have to, because we will have that reflection also in this reality now through, you know, the patriarchal mind control and all that, what has been also going on in our reality. But we don't want to get stuck there. We want to focus on, you know, the highest outcomes now, personally and collectively, and we want to stay on target, so not to get distracted by any kind of interference in the field. Just keep clearing, and whilst you do this, you automatically clear these energies. And there has been, you know, so much cleared already, and also through this Lion's Gateway there will be a last big push of getting rid, I think, of a lot of the last bit of interference. So also I can see a lot of the abundance coming in now, finally, because this is what has been preventing it. In the end, it's miasmic density. So it's thing from, you know, other timelines, ancestral timelines, you know, it's personally, it's collectively, and purification is that, you know, thing we have to focus on if we want to experience a cleaner world, so to say. So focus on a pure heart and, you know, be that love, be that forgiveness, be the person who helps another person. And, you know, keep bringing in those energies into your realities that you wish to see out there, because this is how our realities changes. It changes from the inside out, and not by us trying to change, you know, wherever we live or who we are with or what we work as. You know, it's more about who we are whilst we're doing whatever we are doing, and not so much what we are doing. So every one of us, you know, has a different role to play, and I can also see a lot of these roles are changing now, and there's a different focus for many of us. And Lionsgate will also be a huge activation for twin flames, because it's, you know, a lot about this infinity symbol, and this is the balancing of the masculine and feminine. It's infinity, it's abundance, it's the golden gateway. It will open up many new experiences for us and open many new doors. That's what I can see. And it's about time, because I've had enough of this right now. And I think we've all been feeling that at some point or another lately. It's like, I mean, you know, throughout the journey, you do get that feeling. But yeah, it's just been very tough lately. So we need to also focus on the joy, bring the joy in now, you know, put on the music, bring out, you know, do whatever brings you joy, and also keep nurturing yourself, keep nurturing your body, keep taking time out for yourself on a daily basis, because you need to keep recharging and you need to keep integrating, because the activations and the clearings, you know, it's a constant integration and upgrading and clearing. So we need to really just make this as easy and gracefully as possible instead of fighting it. So whatever happens, just try to love it. Try to just let it happen. Try not to resist the pain, whether it may be mentally, emotionally, physical. We can breathe through it, you know. Don't forget to breathe. Keep counting your breaths. You know, there's so many good free tunes on YouTube that help you, you know, release more serotonin, or, you know, there's brainwave music, and then there's also binaural beats and relaxation music. I think you all know them. So really take out your tools as you're going through these different activations and integrations, because the next 2 weeks will be huge, and it's about us being balanced as much as possible at all times. So huge balancing of the masculine and feminine energies, which is why I was asked to make the main theme today, the balancing of the healing of the feminine, because I think we've been feeling this, I've been writing about this also, a lot of feminine energies clearing. I mean, by no means it's just the feminine, it's also the masculine. It's going through a lot of clearing and healing. But it was a lot around self-worth and not enough. And the not enoughness goes so deep within the feminine, of, you know, not feeling heard, not feeling valued, not being seen and appreciated. So, and there also has been a lot of energies of heartbreak, and this really comes from many other lifetimes again, because we've been clearing them. Cataclysmic timelines from Atlantis, Lemuria. You know, we've lost lives. We saw other people dying. Our loved ones, we were separated. We had to go through a lot of heartbreak throughout the timelines, because these distorted masculine and feminine energies, because 3D relationships have been based mainly on distortions. They haven't been, you know, it was always from a place of codependency or lack and push-pull. You know, they hadn't been balanced. And this is why we have seen this outside as well. So this is why it's so important. And this is also part of the twin flame journey, which I see, Is bringing that balance back again and clearing out all these distortions of the distorted masculine and the distorted feminine. And this is really what we're here for. And this is what we all do within. So it doesn't matter whether you connect with that term. Any relationship can bring you a divine union. And to get there, we have to balance our masculine and feminine within first and have that divine union within. Because if we don't, we will always have, distorted relationships that are based on, one is more than the other, and there is no balance and there's no equality. And we're bringing back that equality and that balance between the masculine and feminine, because we need both, we are both, and it's all about the balance. So we can all do this, and it's all about the inner work, and then again the outside will follow, and you will meet that person which will vibrate in that frequency of a healthy relationship, because you have a healthy relationship with yourself, which is why it's important as the divine feminine clears first, because she is holding this space. She is she creates the masculine is born through her. In a sense, that's at least how I see this, as in she's the background energy, and then births the masculine, which is then the creator and the manifester. But she is that holding that space now as she heals herself and she forgives the masculine and the wounds of past lifetime persecutions and trauma and torture and killings and all of the injustices that have happened. We are here to let that go and heal. And whilst we do this, we then make that space for the masculine healing, as he then can forgive himself. And because a lot of what's happening is that the resistance of the masculine has been so far to really face their shadows, to really open up. The feminine has come from not enough, feeling inferior, and the opposite, the polarity, is the masculine feeling superior. So there has been that imbalance, and that's generally speaking. And again, this is not about gender, this is about energies. And they have had a resistance to facing their own shadows because, of many reasons, because also their own divine feminine had been suppressed. And that's what we need to see. We need to, not need to understand, but I think it helps in forgiveness if we see that the masculine hasn't learned to access their emotional body, which is what is happening now. And it can be overwhelming because they've been taught to, don't cry, don't be a crybaby, you need to man up, and all of these things that they have grown up with, if we speak generally about men now. And, the women have naturally been allowed to be more in touch with their emotions. But what we have to achieve as women is to become, or the feminine is to be in balance emotionally. So to not get out of balance and to become, the crazy, impulsive women that men sometimes see us as. We have to stay balanced because, this just drags negative energy towards you. If you become emotionally imbalanced, it's not good news for anyone. So we have to learn how to deal with that, which we will talk about later on in the call, and really become sovereign, and that's for all of us to become sovereign in our own sovereignty, in all aspects, and not let anything or anyone bring us out of emotional balance and drag us into drama and emotional despair. Okay, so that's our job. For the men, their job, or the masculine, it is to access their emotional body more and integrate it. And this is what's happening now. But the feminine is holding the space for them to let go of shame and guilt, of, some things they did wrong. And obviously, again, this is a mirroring of what's happening in the collective, of the patriarchy, to let down the guard, to really get in touch. Like, it's just, we have to, lead from the heart and not the head. It's obviously, we still need our head, and the head is the masculine, the heart is the feminine energy, and it's all about balance, but the heart leads and the head is the tool. So our heart knows, and it's not anymore about, control, and I have to do X, Y, Z in order to make this happen. It's about trust, and it's about really, unifying now within and letting all that fear go, letting the lower realities go, standing in our mastery, standing in our power, and now access that next level of, timelines and experiences. So it's really an interesting time now after we've had a lot of, I had to rest a lot during the last month, and I feel like we're going to get back a lot of more energy and motivation and creativity, because it's also this whole Leo, theme, which that stands for. So, yeah. I wanted to, because what I usually do in these calls is I do a couple of light language activations, which are meditations, so it's not just light language. They're really activations or clearings as well. And I think I will start with, sorry, I'm just checking whether I have forgotten anything. Oh yeah, just two more things about the energy of late. We also are clearing a lot of the ancestral timelines. So this is going to be ongoing, and we're all connected to different tribes. So, what you're clearing for yourself, it will always affect your own family. They do say 7 generations above and 7 generations after you, but it's also collectively. So you're collectively, connected to different soul groups, for example, and it's thousands of people. So, and we all have, different roles to play. But I know, for example, for me, that's a lot of what I do. So we have to clear out those lower, behaviors and thought forms and emotional patterns, behavioral patterns. And as we do this, we really clear the way, for the collective to clear this out much easier and almost automatically. That's the 100 monkey effect. It's like a collective field where we're sharing now a lot of the information much more quickly. This is also when we do, DNA activations or mass meditations. We're activating the collective. We can do this in our own meditations, but even just by us doing the change, making the change, we are having that effect on the whole collective field of consciousness and humanity. And it becomes, available then to them and almost natural to pick up the new behaviors and ways of being, ways of thinking. So this is how the whole thing works. And there have also been a lot of activations of the Tree of Life and Original Divine True Human Source Blueprint. And this has, again, to do with the activation of the 12 chakra system and, our higher transmitter channels. And also to, as we are connecting with the monad now, for many of us, we have to have these upper transmitter channels activated, because they connect us to our monad. And this is why clearing work is so important, because all the density is what's clocked this up. So, daily clearing. I also protect myself whilst this is still kind of an issue. So, if you have no problems with it, fine, don't do it. If you do, even just the intention to make it impenetrable. I make my bubble of light impenetrable. So golden, diamond, crystalline, platinum, white light, impenetrable bubble. Any lower energies are being transmuted straight away before they can enter my field, and I just keep it clear. Even just imagining the white flame or golden light filling up your aura is really helpful. So to do that daily as well, and then it strengthens your energy field. So let us start now. That's enough from the energies. I'm sure there's more, because it's just all happening, Sleep, I haven't been able to sleep properly until the sun goes up in the morning for the last week. Last night was a bit better, but yeah, it's been very intense. And we can just, try all we know from our toolbox to make it easier and just surrender to whatever presents in every moment. And it's changing very quickly. The integration upgrades are happening much more quickly now, instead of for weeks or sometimes even months. You sometimes within a day go through different stages. So to just keep going with the flow, because that's timelessness. It's just a flowing in whatever presents, and not so much wondering about what's happening in the future or the past. But staying right here, present. That's the now moment. That's 0 point. Just awareness of the now. So what I will do first in the activation is do a clearing. And I want to do this planetary wide as well. and also activation. But that will just be general, and then later on we do a specifically divine feminine healing, and also obviously, you know, this includes the masculine, but more specifically on the points we were talking about earlier. Okay, so if you just want to relax, whatever you like to do, but close your eyes maybe, it's always nice, and just open up the palms of your hands, pointing towards the ceiling, pointing to receive all these keys and codes. And just take a couple of breaths just to center ourselves. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Breathing in light. And breathing out any density. And we connect now to our heart center, our crystalline diamond heart center, sparkling with all the colors of the rainbows. Our God seed atom, to divinity within. And we clear, heal, balance, harmonize our physical, mental, emotional, spiritual bodies, all 12 bodies. Across all timelines, all dimensions, all realities. And we imagine a big bubble of light all around us, all around our aura. It's golden, diamond, crystalline, platinum light. Beautiful, sparkling. And through our heart center, we connect with our higher selves, tri-state selves, multidimensional selves, and mighty I am presence, pure source like consciousness. And we breathe this into our heart center and outer our field, into our body, out into our aura. As we're connected to the sun, central sun, great central sun. Receiving the codes from source into central sun, and through our upper transmitter channels, into our heart, into our field. And we connect through our heart center down into the crystalline core of Gaia. You can imagine roots coming out of your feet, just a cord from your heart, golden diamond cord, down to a crystalline core, a big crystal, a Merkaba. And we connect to her love, to her heart. We connect to the whole of Gaia, kingdoms and elementals. And we breathe back up the love and the keys and codes of Gaia into our heart, into our field. Ishara sea kinatara tu una sarateara. Ushuna rasea iratara upu una taratea ina saratea ina tara una karase. Shiunatea kina saratu. Ukunatea ti. Tiana saratea ishukura. Tiana kiratia. Ikana sea ku unatea ina sarate ina saratu unataratea. And we can feel the presence of our divine entourage, our teams, angels, archangels, ascended masters, galactics, Mother, Father, God, 12 and 24 elders surrounding the throne of God, unicorns, mer people, the lion people, agathons, ancient ones, dragons, fairies, elves, gnomes, leprechauns, sylphs, all the magical beings of light, of the highest frequency of love and purity that act within accordance with the law of one, assisting us in this activation and clearing. Isuna yena tia iki da tarasuna tarashea ni na sarate ii na taratu. Yuna na sea iki na tarate. Yuna na sarate ii sarate ani na sarate. Kunaya ia na sara. Shuturo kurutu uhunana. Ikira ikina ana ishata. Ishtara. Una kisinatiaki. And we call forth the white flame of purification and illumination, mixed with the golden Christ light to fill up our aura and purify, activate and upgrade our physical, mental, emotional, spiritual bodies, our 12-body system, and our spinal cord energy, moving into every vertebra, purifying, divinitizing, upgrading to the highest level allowed by cosmic law. And we purify, activate and upgrade our meridians, nadis, axonal lines, all of our systems, nervous systems, adrenaline system, cardiovascular system, adrenal system, reproductive system, all of our systems, organs, blood, cells, every cell, every atom, every atomic and subatomic particle and wave, and all the spaces in between, purified and divinitized. Any density removed back to source, transformed and transmuted back to divine law. Isaratea isina karatu una sharatea ikinatara kukunatara se ina saratea ushukutuna kikinatea isinataratu una yena saratea ina karatu una sea ishinata hirata ionana saratea ina saratu una karatea isunaye Kiuna kirati, isuna ye, ikunatea kikina taratarate. And we clear, purify, activate and upgrade all of our chakras, all 12 chakras, purified, divinitized, spinning at the perfect frequency and color in this now moment, upgrading each other to the next highest expression. Usuna yena ki ina sara ushutuna ke kina taratea yi isina ye kiki karatea una tea si ina shi ikina kikina tea ina saratu yuno kuro turu tu 144 chakras purified, activated, upgraded. All acupuncture points. Suna yena ki ikara tara kikinatara, unatara, ushukunatara, tea yinatara, sea kikinatara. And we now imagine a big master strand of DNA wrapped all around us. It's a beautiful, pearlescent, diamond, silver, golden light. Beautiful 12 strand DNA. Activating, clearing, lighting up, overriding and overwriting any lesser DNA, any lesser strands. Usura, ishina ki ina tarate, iana sarate aki ina tarasu. Usuna yenati, tia karatura, tia ina sara ushukura, kina kiaki, kiana saratea istuna, tura enakiati, ina saratea ku. Kuru, kuru turu, usuna, anasha. And we activate a 13th strand of DNA all around it. The etheric, divine mother energies of pure, divine, unconditional love. Replicating in every cell, in our heart and child fields. Highest quality DNA activate. Activating the 14th strand, 15th strand, 144 strands, activate. Isunaye, isaratea, ishina karate, ianana sarate, ina karatu, una sarate, ishina tarate, ikunayena tara, ana sarate, ina karatu, una saratea, ina sarate. Activating our multidimensional gifts, our extra sensory perception gifts to the next level, telepathy, clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairsentience, claircognizance, teleportation, telekinesis, Isunayena tia ikina taratu unasaratea ishina karate ina karatu unasarate. Our ancient gifts of knowing, wisdom, healing. Usunayena ti ikina tara unasarate inasaratea ikira kununatara. Etherically reconnecting our multidimensional gifts, our multidimensional DNA. Usuna inatia ina saratea isina taratea ishina taratu. Utuna ina tarate. Kuyana saratea ina saratea isina taratu. Activating the rainbow bridge, the rainbow body, the bridge to new earth, and the bridge to new experience. As we call back to ourselves all that we are, a conscious awareness of our multidimensional beingness, of our soul aspects. Isunaye ikinataratea istiki ishanayenati ikinataratu unasaratea inasaratea ikinataratu. Ukunaye ikanadea ushurate ikinasarate. As we activate the tree of life and the original divine true human source blueprint, the Aram Katman body, downloading the 7th-dimensional original cell blueprint from Sirius, as you're being supported by the Sirians and the Lion people. Ushuna yena ki istana dea karata, uyana na taratea ishina karate, iunana sarate ina karatea ikina taratu una sharatea yi, ikana yenata, istuna yenatea ikina tarate. Usuna yeyaki, ki anatarate. And we remember how important it is to keep our heart open and to open it ever wider, no matter what. To keep going back into our heart whenever we feel triggered, isolated, not loved. We connect within our hearts and the Divine Mother energies and all of our galactic and heavenly support. And we call forth that love to fill every cell and every atom and every atomic and subatomic particle and wave, all the spaces in between in our heart center. Our heart rose up to the highest level possible. And we ask now for the soft pink ray of divine love to fill up all of our bodies, our cells, our DNA, with pure divine love, having released a lot of what we don't need anymore. Density from our fields, all transmuted back. Istana yena tia kiana saratea shinatura nanake. Isuna yenati. Eunanate. Unayani. Isura narati. Enate, raseananate, unayani yata yase, And we now connect back to our heart center, which is purified, divinitized, opened up to ever higher levels of love, being loved and loving others. As we know, we are safe, we are valued, we are protected, and we are always provided for. And to trust and to surrender to divine will, and to remember to be those vessels for our higher self to work through us, and to always connect to our heart and our inner wisdom, to know we are our own shepherds, and we have all we need within us. Isuna yenaki, ikana yenatia, ishina karatu una saratea, ikina taratu una saratea yi, inana sarata. And we now send out this healing and the keys and codes received through the human heart grids. You can see this as a big sphere of golden, diamond, crystalline, soft pink light, diamond light, coming from around your heart center and radiating out to a place where you live, going wider and wider. Beautiful crystalline, diamond, golden, soft pink light. into the town you live in, the state, the country. Now out throughout the whole planetary grid, every human heart light up with pure divine love. Nusuratea ishina karatea nina saratea ikina taratu usuna yenatiaki. And we extend this out to the whole solar system. Universal systems, the whole multiverse. Purifying all timelines, all dimensions, all realities with pure divine love, divine neutrality, across the whole cosmos. Ishana yena sia I ina saratu una sara yena saratea ishina taratea I ina yana seaki hiana keaki. Usuna yena teaki. Back in our hearts, we connect once more to a crystalline core of Gaia. Gaia Sat, grounding us into a fifth, sixth, seventh dimensional crystalline with new earth. Ishana yinasia ikina taratea isina karateati. Always connected with our love in our heart. As we breathe back up our codes, as we've given our keys and codes, and shared this with all of humanity, every human heart in the whole cosmos. We come back into our body, wiggle our toes, fingers, body stretch, and we should feel a whole lot lighter, actually a little bit lightheaded. And I'm just gonna say we take 2 minutes. Okay. Now I hope you enjoyed that. I should have cleared a lot. You also get later on the recording, or I'm posting it. And what you can also do is use this as, you know, if ever you feel, I think that was about half an hour, so it's a bit of a longer clearing. But if you do feel it has helped you, you can keep building up on it. So if you get a recording link, you can download this and play it at a later time whenever you feel like having a clearing, because, you know, there is not one healing, one clearing, one activation, one course that we do that will just magically, you know, have us ascend or have all of our blocks and contracts and density and whatever else cleared out of our, you know, field from our lives. But it all builds on top of another, and it all helps accelerate. So I, for example, also, I am an accelerator and really helping people to activate, you know, higher levels of DNA, and especially the divine true human source blueprint, because I just carry this within my blueprint and DNA, and we all have access to this. But I, you know, would just help you through my work, and especially the light language, to help you access, you know, higher levels of that more quickly. Also the clearing, you know, every little helps, and that's kind of what I do with my work. So next I wanted to talk about how to release victim and persecutor consciousness and mind control programs, because that's really what it is. And especially as we're coming in now to the time of more and more being disclosed. I think we've seen this in our own lives, that, you know, as more clarity is coming to us because the veils are lifting, it's our own veils, our pineal pituitary coming more online, you know, we're getting more knowing, also have more access to gifts, and on the other hand, also more, you know, realizations are coming to us from our own lives, our own behaviors, how we have created our own realities. but also of what has manipulated and controlled us for eons of time and what has been really going on. And I mean, you know, some people of you will have seen what has been going on out there, and you know, more and more truths coming out. And I think it's a very good thing, because obviously that's what we've waited for a long time. So when I share something like this, it's usually from a place of yay, finally the truth is coming out, not a let's do a witch hunt. Because what we really want to be careful with is the whole blame and shame game. All of that has to go. We have to find a fine line where we can bring that stuff up, look it in the face, you know, see what's out there and what has been going on, but then we also integrate and transmute it, forgive those atrocities, you know, give forgiveness to those people who have played those roles, because on the highest level, that is all that is. But obviously, we also want to see that stop, and we want, you know, justice to be brought, the karma to be paid in a sense, but we don't want revenge. We don't want to hang on to lower feelings of, you know, how could they X, Y, Z. In the end, what we have to understand, and I want to actually bring this in here, because through my own work, I have been shown that, for example, the whole Cabal and Illuminati history has been really, you know, started off planet. So you had a foreign group of extraterrestrials, and they had taken one of the poorest of the poor, and really, you know, people who felt very, very small, and offered them or promised them, you know, power and money and success, and made these contracts so under false pretense. So no normal human would have actually, you know, agreed to these kind of contracts. And of course, we can look at this as many different ways. This is just one perspective. We can look at it from many different perspectives, and also of DNA, you know, manipulation, so forth and so forth. Anyway, but the background through this whole story is that through the generations, you know, these people have signed the soul of their children away. And what happens in any kind of, you know, type of abuse scenario that you even maybe have at home, like I experienced, you know, domestic abuse when I was a child. So what it creates is, then I ended up with a lot of anger. I would actually sometimes feel I would need to, you know, in my worst hours, like need to freaking kill someone, because I had seen it. So the victim, you know, for example, the children of these people, or other children who have been taken care, you know, have been taken advantage of, they were the victims. And as they grow older, they become the persecutors. So what I have noticed is a lot of the Cabal people, they have been, you know, born into this. They have been abused as children themselves. And, you know, there are many different ways of looking at this. At the highest level, we have all agreed upon this experience of expanding our consciousness through the experience of duality and separation. But we have to rise above it in order to clear these timelines, because we need to come to a place of forgiveness. I find sometimes understanding is that it, you know, or other people who are doing these things, not that we fully can understand this maybe, but, you know, bringing some more understanding in helps us to maybe be forgiving, let all this go, because as we do this, you know, bring it up, look it in the face, transmute it, forgive it, and then we release it, then all these lower timelines can dissolve, because it's divine neutrality, and it's collectively, and it's also for us personally. You know, if we have problems with anyone in our lives, you know, we feel victimized, for example, and we have to stop vibrating at the frequency of victim. We have to understand, okay, every negative experience, any, you know, interference, challenge, test, always is here to serve us ultimately, is here to bring us into a greater empowerment, because in the end, nothing is more powerful than we are from the outside. We have all we need within. It's just that we have lost this over so many lifetimes of trauma and persecution and so forth. So especially as light workers, you know, we've been here often a few rounds. I mean, everyone's journey is different, but I know for myself, I've been through a lot of trauma and persecutions and killings, and I've had some snippets come up as well lately over this last month of purification. So, you know, it's been rough, and we had to process those feelings. And yes, we were victims, but then we have to let that shit go. And this is the time. So that's what I mean with the divine feminine. It's a divine feminine within everyone who has been suppressed. The healer, you know, the witches, the seers, you know, the oracles. And we have this all within us. So the intuition, you know, it has been like the head has been favored over the heart, because, you know, if we were too sensitive, for example, we wouldn't make it in this world. You know, we need to toughen up to make it in this world. This kind of stuff. This also, you know, contributing to the divine masculine, suppressing his divine feminine. So, and we all have done that to a certain degree. Me as well. I had to see, you know, what kind of traumas didn't I really face, because I thought, oh yeah, whatever. You know, it's just everybody has to go through this. No, I actually need to bring it up, look it in the face, transmute it, make peace with it, because otherwise it's still bubbling somewhere underneath the surface. And these frequencies now are bringing all that stuff up, whether it's negative frequencies within the collective field or our own, you know, karmic density and distortions in our fields, in our DNA. It's in our bodies. That's why we go through a lot of pain in this journey, because it's, you know, in our bones, organs, cells. It's held, and it has to clear, you know, it has to clear. And also obviously the activation of our crystalline light bodies also can cause a lot of, you know, discomfort at times. But basically, in order to stop this victim persecutor mind control programming, we have to stop, you know, with the blame and the shame. So we are the ones who bring peace, understanding, forgiveness to whatever we observe, because whatever comes up in our reality is the ascension. It's not just us connecting with essential material or disclosure or whatever it might be. In any interaction, in any relationship we have, okay, even if somebody is mean to us, we have to, you know, get to a point where we have a nice balance of saying, no, this is not okay, you know, to behave to me too disrespectful or whatever it may be. But you say it from a place of love. You say it, you know, quite, you mean it, you know, you mean business. You don't say, oh, no, this is not okay. You know, this obviously is not going to work. So there's a place for all of this. But we need to know when we need to be firm, when we need to be gentle, when, you know, to put our foot down. So we say it from this empowered place, but we also say it from a place of love, because we understand somebody who is a healed, balanced person doesn't hurt another person. And I think we've all along, you know, in our lives have hurt other people. So nobody is, you know, perfect here or above anyone else. We're all going through an experience, and we're all at different stages, and everybody has, you know, like, is on this journey in some way. They're just not as aware as we are. So we are the ones who have to lead by example. And no matter what buttons are pressed, how many stones are being thrown at us, we have to stay above that stuff, because we cannot dissolve it from a level of resistance and fighting it. We cannot fight it. We show our strength, but if we fight it, we resist it. And then there's this push-pull. Okay, so we have to neutralize it. Divine neutrality, to forgive the people who have hurt us, but also, you know, say, okay, no, you may do your, you know, soul's learning over there. I don't need to, you know, be your friend right now, let's say, or let's take a little break. If they don't know, you know, if they cannot treat us respectfully and with love, because we need to claim this from within. And we have to stop vibrating at this victim frequency, because otherwise, even if we say goodbye to these people, we would find them in another scenario, whether it be through work, through, you know, going to the shops, going out, whatever it may be. If we haven't healed the core wound of feeling, you know, the victim, feeling mistreated, feeling not heard, feeling not listened to, whatever it may be, if we haven't healed this and we looked at it and brought it up, then we will keep pulling other people into our experience that vibrate at a persecutor frequency, because unless we let it go. And we have to understand that this also, you know, this also feeds actually into this personal sovereignty piece, because we, you know, no matter what anyone does to us, we are not supposed to lose it. You know, obviously we will have moments where we don't react, you know, perfectly. But we're trying to get to that place, and that's the point of getting emotionally balanced. So it doesn't matter what buttons are pressed and what the triggers are. We keep, you know, understanding, no, I need to go within, seeing what buttons are being pressed and why it is, and how can I react differently so I don't have to keep experiencing this, because as long as I fight it, it will keep playing in my experience. So I need to choose a different approach, and I have to change something within me that is still, you know, wanting me like to look at something that I haven't seen before. Because when I change my frequency, other people will not behave the way towards you anymore. And if they do, you know, they will drop out of your environment, out of your life, or, you know, you might drop them yourself if you're a bit proactive. But ultimately, we are the only ones who can stop it. And as long as we're still blaming anything or any person for the way we feel, we are still vibrating as the victim. So it doesn't matter what anyone does to you. You just have to see, okay, what is this still showing me? What am I here to learn? And drop into gratitude and shift the whole scenario. And we just stop playing as a victim. We just take responsibility for our experiences, for our realities. But we're also gonna, you know, not let people abuse us or mistreat us. So we need to have to stand up for ourselves. But we don't do it from a place of being frustrated and angry. We do it from love. Although we might get angry, that's fine. You know, don't beat yourself up. Don't judge yourself. The main thing is non-judgment, divine neutrality. That's what dissolves the lower timelines and experiences. So forgiveness is huge. And this is also something that's playing out between masculine and feminine, you know, a lot. The, you know, patriarchy, you know, stands for the masculine in a sense. So the masculine, you know, having oppressed the feminine, that has been the persecutor, and then the victim is the feminine. So that's why we're healing the feminine and all these feelings around, you know, not feeling enough, because it has happened because we lost our power along many lifetimes. You know, we've given our power away. We've, you know, a lot of what's happening is because good people do nothing. You know, we know what's going on, but what are we actually doing about it? You know, a lot of the time. Now, we are doing something about it, I see it, but, you know, people out there sometimes, like, we are being trained and mind manipulated through the TV of like constantly seeing the negative things, and then we have something to complain about or be fearful about. But we're also sitting in this space of like, yeah, but we're not doing anything. We're just looking at it. We're just consuming it, having more and more fear and worries and negative emotions arise. But it's making us feel as if we can't do anything about it. And obviously that's what we're here for. We are changing this all. So a lot will change positively now. I do strongly believe that. Now, one thing we also want to understand, that emotions are based on our thoughts. So whenever you have an emotion coming up that's triggering you, you know, you feel isolated or disrespected, unheard, it's based on a thought pattern. So let's say, you know, your partner is not listening to you and you're like, oh, he never listens to me. You know, it's a very common thing between man and woman. And, you know, again, this is very general. But to then go within and see, where do we have that thought pattern maybe running from our childhood? And there's a thought pattern running such as, he never listens to me. It's a belief that's running and it keeps playing out in your reality. You can go within and change that thought program. And you say, my partner listens and respects me, or say, you know, the people in my life love, respect, and listen to me. I am valued. I am loved. I am, you know, respected. So we have to see, every time we get triggered and we feel any of those victim type feelings, or even if it would be persecutor, but we're just talking about the victim thing here now, is that we need to go within and see what full program is running. So what is being triggered? So my emotion is, I'm feeling hurt. Why am I feeling hurt? Because I wasn't let's say somebody's disrespecting you and shouting at you, and you're like, feeling disrespected and hard done by. So this is, then causing you to not feel good and have a victim frequency running. Then you can go within and see, okay, where has this been triggered in my childhood, for example, or is this a recurring theme? Is this something where a belief pattern is running underneath? Because sometimes, obviously people are just not nice to us and we let it go. But if I'm being triggered, then there's something still running that I want to be released. Because once we have cleared that, if somebody else shouts at us, we can just stay in our center and know that person have had a bad day. It's not about us, it's about them. But if we are being triggered, that's when we have to go deeper and see, where has that wound come from? How can I love myself more? How can I respect myself more? Because that's what we're here to do. We are here to love and respect ourselves so much that we will draw these people into our lives, and not anymore the people who keep pushing our buttons and make us feel less than or not enough and feel those feelings. But they have to be cleared first. And until then, those people are our gifts, because they're triggering what we still need to resolve. So all about what we are doing, not what they are doing. Again, we also need to stand up for ourselves. So very fine line of dealing with it, but not letting it consume you, observing your reality, as if you would observe maybe another person's life like your best friend, and talk to yourself like your best friend. What would you give your best friend as an advice? What would you tell her? Have a dialogue with yourself running all the time, because the divine feminine is the intuition, it's the unconscious. And it's becoming conscious now. And then we see what realities we have created, or how we have created them through our thought patterns and behaviors, which created emotions and, the belief systems, especially what we believe in. So if we have deep down a belief running that we can't trust men, for example, we will not find a man that we can trust. So we have to go deep, deep, deep within and say, I can trust men, I am safe and I am protected. I can be who I am. But first, we have to resolve that all within, all the stuff that's still been triggered, and we get triggered until we don't get triggered anymore. That's how long it's going to take. So stay right here, right now, keep being present, keep dropping within, keep seeing what needs to be resolved. So you don't keep feeling those feelings anymore, and really reclaim your power and say, I'm freaking amazing. Look in the mirror, say, I love you. I love you, Ramona Lappin. I love you, I love you, I love you. And it's sometimes very difficult. Like, I've always had a lot of very low self-confidence, especially growing up. And it's something I had to really, really work on. And I'm still, sure I can go some further. So, there's always more anyway. That we can work on, but we're really at an important time where we can clear all this stuff. And it's about us becoming very conscious of our thought patterns, our beliefs, our thinking, and they came from the way we've observed relationships growing up, the way we observed, for me, for example, rejection is huge. I, grew up without a father. He broke up with my mother before I was even born, so I met him when I was 18, so there obviously was a huge rejection thing going on. And I keep having that come up in my life until I, fully accept and love myself. Because on some level, there was a program running that the way I am is not good enough for the man or my father to love me. See, so I need to beware of that folk program if I keep having rejection come up in my life and that keeps triggering me, until it doesn't anymore, and I've really released that and know and understand that no, that wasn't about me, it was about him. I mean, he didn't even know me, so how could he have rejected me as such, So I hope that makes sense. So every time we go within, when we feel these emotions come up, we have to face them, look what's beneath, what thoughts have triggered my emotions, and just go, and dig deep. This is all about us. And again, as we heal those wounds, then you don't have these experiences come into your reality, because again, we are projecting this out. It's a frequency match, you know, to then match the people who respect us and love us because we love and respect ourselves. Doesn't matter how much a person loves you, it will never be enough if you don't love yourself. And that's what we are here to do. And it's the hardest thing because, you know, our heart center over many lifetimes has closed up. We had bad experiences, trauma, and we cannot let that close anymore because this is all about our heart center. Okay, God seed atom, the heart center creates. Like it's so important to keep working on, you know, love, self-love, love for others, and keep digging deeper because we're here to open up our heart more and more and to clear out all sense of betrayal. For example, the back of your heart is receiving, where we receive, but this is also where a lot of betrayal is stored. So as like I have this frequency coming up, like I can feel the back of my heart is actually hurting, you know, back of my heart chakra. And then just working on the clearing, call in green light or Archangel Raphael, or, you know, ask Archangel Chamuel of who looks after the soft pink gray of divine love to help you heal, you know, the back of your heart, or, you know, the front of your heart is the giving, the back of your heart is receiving, but also for the betrayal, we have closed that up in order to protect ourselves. So we thought we are not safe to receive love anymore because we were betrayed over and over again. And we have to see, if we actually would have listened to our intuition properly, we would have been forewarned, and we actually, you know, listen to other people more than to ourselves. And that in the end, no matter how much somebody else hurts us, if we have that love really for ourselves, no one else can take that feeling away from us. You know, we will not feel less just because somebody else doesn't love us or rejects us or doesn't listen to us. We know that's their own journey, or, you know, this just wasn't meant to be. But it doesn't matter what another person does or doesn't do. You know, I have love for myself. They still deserve love because we were all innocent ones. And often, you know, somebody else hurts us because of their own distortion. And I mean, we've all been, you know, running distorted templates of the divine feminine, masculine. No one is better or worse. It's just different. So it doesn't matter what we clear within us, you know, masculine or feminine. It's just different distortions that have to be cleared so we can have healthy relationships. But that relationships always starts with us. Always starts with us. I'm just having a look at the chat for a moment, because I also don't want to have the call go on too long today, because last time was 3.5 hours, and that's usually just a little bit too long. Just checking the comments. Okay, cool. So yeah, that is about releasing the victim-persecutor consciousness, and it's so important that we do. And although all and whoever has done anything to us personally or collectively, everything is pushing us to step further to our sovereignty, into our power, knowing that nothing is more powerful than we are. We've given our power away, and we are here to claim it back. And this is the time, especially this Lion's Gate will help us do that. And, you know, retrieving our gifts and abilities after all this clearing, that finally can come online and clear. But it has to come from a pure heart. And this really is about a pure heart, you know, and it's not about blaming any groups, any people. It's about being that love, being here the Christ embodied, as in, you know, leading from that pure heart and, you know, morally, no, or ethically, you know, ethically. So really to, you know, it's not so much about what we believe in, what practices we have, what we eat, what we don't eat, you know, who we follow, who we don't follow. It's about us being compassionate towards each other, treating other people the way we want to be treated. And, you know, no matter what they are doing to us. So to always keep being that eye in the storm and just radiate out that love and the balance and the forgiveness. And that's what the divine feminine is doing here, you know, being that forgiveness. And the forgiveness is the dead forgiveness. And this will unravel everything, because then we can let go of those storylines. And if we don't, you know, we want revenge, and that's not going to help anyone. So that, I think, was that, unless somebody has another question around the victim persecutor thing. So it's very important we just let that go and don't do the witch hunt. We can just bring it up into our awareness of what's been going on, but now we know better and we won't let this happen again, because we energetically in sovereignty, say no. So about the sovereignty piece, which was the next part I wanted to talk about. And again, if you have, or not again, or if you have any questions, let me know you want to talk in the messenger. There's a little box down at your screen. If you see, there's like a chat function, and you can type in any questions or say, I would like to speak, because it's nice when also other people are speaking, not just me. And yeah, if you have any questions, but I will just keep on going for the moment. Yeah, one more thing I wanted to say about the victim persecutor thing, and this is also in connection to the masculine feminine healing, is that we are giving the space, I think I did say that earlier on, for the masculine to overcome the guilt and the shame, and to finally let down those barriers of defense, and to stand in humility of, because even if we do things wrong, I mean, these are our biggest learning experience. We don't need to be ashamed about anything, and that's what we need to see. Being a victim is not better than being a persecutor, really, or whatever it may be. It's just different roles, and we are here to forgive, and we are here to come together in unity. But obviously they need to be, have willing hearts and be open, but they also need to feel safe to be open and to come from the heart. So if the feminine goes crazy and attacks them and blames them and shames them, this can't happen. That's why it's so important that we release this, victim, because that's from the victim then comes the persecutor by, being so frustrated and angry about everything that has happened. So yeah, so we let that go and we forgive and we move on and let the stories be. But the stories will keep coming around until we have processed and integrated it and make the changes, because again, I like to say sometimes the example of, if we are in an abusive relationship, we don't stay with that person because we know that other person is a part of me and we forgive them, and unity and loving everyone. No, we're still not going to keep carrying on in that relationship. We split up, or whatever it may be, but we remove ourselves from an abusive relationship because we say, no, I'm worth more. I'm not being treated like this. I love myself so much that I will not be abused and used. But we also don't wish revenge on the other person. We wish them healing, and we know they are coming from a very broken place and broken heart. But we can't do it for them. We can't keep enabling them. But we still wish them nothing but the best. But we have to draw a very, very clear line of what's okay and what's not okay in our realities. So that's the fine line. So how to be sovereign? I think a lot of that was already covered. Let me just put Rachel on first, because it's good. I get a tiny little break as well anyway. So yeah, I can try and unmute you, Rachel, or you unmute yourself. Let me find you. Yeah, unmute you. There you go. Should.
Hello.
Yes, you are. Hi.
Hiya. I just want to say thank you so much for the information on the back of your heart chakra, because I know that I'm working on me receiving at the moment, and I've been having loads of like discomfort and like in the top half of my back, and a message, didn't I, saying I'm working on me receiving, so I'm gonna do this call tonight, and you gave me the answer I needed, because I was wondering what that was about. So I just want to say thank you so much.
Oh, you're so welcome. Yeah, it's big at the moment, and that's what the feminine does. She receives. The masculine gives, the feminine receives, and we have closed ourselves off from receiving. So a lot of the abundance actually also has a lot to do with that.
Yeah.
We receive abundance, and we have closed ourselves energetically off because we thought it was not safe. And I might also, when we come to financial abundance or these kind of things, programs running that made you think it's not safe to have money, or it's not, good people don't have a lot of money, or, money is negative. So there has been a lot of clearing of all this been happening. And, we sell our souls for money, and many other lifetimes, even we might have taken contracts of poverty or been in religious orders. There has been a lot of clearing out for sure.
Yeah, I'm so happy to have got that information off you tonight, so thank you so much.
You're so welcome. And a lot around the heart should clear for us all, because also the heart energies is something I very much focus on, the fine-tuning of the heart energies. And even just as I speak, a lot is being cleared out of your energetic fields. So, I mean, as the divine feminine comes back, it's also the divine love is coming back, isn't it? And the love of the divine mother, all that we have been deprived of. So we're going to feel a lot more of that. And we can fill ourselves up with it, like just fill up your body with love and keep pulling that in and asking for it. Like we are active participants in calling forth energies and frequencies and sending them out. And, I do expect a lot more feelings of bliss and divine love and peace to be available to us after a lot of that dense, depressive energy.
It's been a crazy 2 weeks for me. I've been all my masculine stuff has been coming up, so all my toxic traits that I didn't even know I had have been coming up for me to be released, and there's been a lot of like forgiving and stuff like that. I've had to forgive myself for some of the things that that I've done because I think when you're in victim mode as well, it's hard to see when you're in victim mode what sort of part that you've played in it as well. It's really, really hard to see. I think that's what I've been working on more than anything just the past 2 weeks.
Yes, and self-forgiveness, obviously, that's where it starts. Often when we forgive ourselves, we actually find it a lot easier to forgive other people.
Yeah, definitely.
It's also a mirroring again, that where we still have judgment, and that's the thing, the judgment has to go of good, bad, right, wrong, to a big degree, of then just let it be as it just is. That was the experience. This is what I've been learning from it. I had to go through the experience so I could learn this. And we then can let it go, because in the end, it has all been serving us, whether we're learning to forgive ourselves or others, but it's all about seeing, okay, this is not working for me. And this behavior is better, because that's the whole thing. If we don't come to a place of resolution, seeing what we have done wrong or what others have done wrong and where we can behave differently, this is what creates the whole timelines. If we keep doing the same thing, everything stays the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
So once we start doing things differently, thinking differently, behaving differently, acting differently, that's when our realities change.
Yeah.
But that's why it has to change first from within, because it doesn't matter where you go, who you're with, what you're working as, you keep taking yourself with you with the same patterns.
Yeah.
And that's what we're all letting go. And realizing it first and really being brave enough to say, hey, sorry, I made a mistake here. Or, you don't even need to do it with other people, depending, you might have done something wrong to a person that's not even around anymore. And you feel like you can't let go because that person's not alive and you can't, do it with them. No, It's more about the self-forgiveness. And even if they've done something to you, you can always bring that in and, bring them up in meditation, for example, higher self to higher self. I do a lot of work like this in meditation, your higher self talking to their higher self. And you can have a conversation like this, because telepathy as well is becoming more and more active. Like I've had some very interesting experiences. So, the soul is a lot more important really of what's happening here on a physical level. And especially with relationships, actually what's happening on a 3D level is very different from what's going on a fifth dimensional level I have seen.
Yeah.
Where we think we are on opposite ends, we're actually working on the same thing.
We are. I've noticed that too.
Yeah, it's the same with the masculine and feminine. You know, we are clearing, the feminine clears out their distortions and the masculine their distortions. And again, we all have both, you know.
Yeah.
So, but let's just say, and it looks like, we're kind of at odds, but no, actually we're just clearing out the opposite ends of the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, and we're just thinking, oh, they are worse, you know, but in the end, again, victim and persecutor, we have to just kind of almost let it be the same thing, in a sense of that it's just the polarities we have to collapse. Let's collapse in the polarities of bringing different viewpoints or opposites, you know, into neutrality.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. I'm glad the information with the heart helped a lot. Like, I've had experiences of clearing around the heart physically for years, like hurting, like ouch.
Yeah, me too. I had well, it starts off with my front at first, just with me heart palpitations and SVT and things like that, and then that was when I was really anxious, really anxious, and then sort of got the anxiety under control, and now it's the back I'm working on. So it just goes and swings and roundabouts, doesn't it? Yeah, you can't heal one without the other. You've got to heal both.
Yeah, the stuff keeps moving around, you know. It's like, yeah, it can be quite extreme, and obviously we all have different areas that might be more prominent, you know. So for me, the heart has always been quite big, and yeah, sometimes it feels like you're having a heart attack, or you know, it can be quite anxiety inducing in itself. But yeah, a lot of anxiety is being held there as well, especially also the high heart. It's our thymus also switches on, you know, the high heart, just where your, was it the collarbone here?
Oh yeah.
Thymuses. So that's the high heart, and that's a lot responsible for the awakening as well. So that can flutter, because it actually looks like two butterfly wings. So if you have it more on the high heart, that's really the activation. Like it's like a very pronounced, well-known ascension activation, let's say, because it's our higher heart really switching on.
Wow, didn't know that. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Yeah, let me just, how do I reach you again? Okay. Now, how to be sovereign. We have to take responsibility for our realities at all levels. Can be difficult. In the end, it's not about blaming yourself or shaming yourself if you ended up not being, you know, in the reality that you are, because it has all been based on programming from your parents, from society, you know, teachers, friends, whatever it is. It's not as if you know, where, you know, when we are born, we're innocent, but even then we have all this programming from our ancestral lines and our DNA. This is why DNA clearing is so important, and really good shortcut to clear a lot of the stuff without having to go into maybe more, you know, other healing modalities, or, you know, trying to understand past lives or so forth. We don't even have to do that anymore. We're really like fast tracking it if we work with our DNA and clear this, because this is a lot of where the distortions have been held and programmed into our DNA and are given to us through our bloodlines. Then we also have, you know, things from past lifetimes that we came here to heal and learn from and finally resolve. But yeah, we have to resolve it, as we have been talking about, you know, by bringing it into the light. We can't just keep thinking, if we're just being positive and keep thinking positively, that everything will fall into place. Because if you still have some distortions running in your field, experiences will keep coming up that keep forcing you to go deeper within and to clear this out of your field. This is also related to the tree of life. It's you know, in a way, the way ascension works, we have to go through these different stages of awakening and clearing out these different distortions in the field, in our DNA, through different experiences that are coming up in our lives in order to, you know, proceed to the next level. We can't get around it, and it will keep coming up until we face it. And we really have to face it with bravery, but not getting too attached to the story, you know, feeling ashamed or blaming other people, or you know, feeling like we are such terrible people. No, it's just, it stops here. You know, wherever it might come from, we have to make peace with it. It just stops here. That's what we need to know. We have to not go on and on and on about the stories, but we have to face them, transmute them, realize what needs to change, but then we just let it go. So it has to be, again, that fine line of both things, you know, not suppression and not overindulging in the negative thought program or experience running and dissolving with it, and being dragged into just lower experiences and realities. So we're becoming conscious of the unconscious. And this then tells us, okay, because I thought, you know, I can't trust men, or because I think I'm not good enough, I have attracted these experiences into my life. Okay, how can I change this? How can I work on these thought and patterns of belief systems? How can I change them? And that change through me becoming aware of it and then saying, no, I'm not this. So you constantly need to be aware of your thinking mind. What are you thinking? If it's a negative thought coming up and you're becoming aware of it, such as, oh, I never get anything right because, you know, you smashed a jar, okay? And you have this negative emotional reaction and you think, oh, I never get anything right, because that might be beneath it. Because otherwise, if you're all fine and clear, you laugh about a broken jar. If it triggers you, there is some underlying emotion there. And in order to be sovereign, we have to keep balanced. So we don't let it start, you know, a negative process of us thinking, oh, I never get anything right, to, oh, I'm not enough, to, you know, something else. Because these things can sometimes spin us out of a balanced, harmonic state of beingness. Little things, you know, stubbing our toe triggers the next negative reaction. That triggers a negative experience, because our whole reality can get out of line. So as soon as you feel this, you step back into your center, take a few minutes, you know, go outside into the garden, go into the toilet, just lie down for a few minutes and see, okay, wait, take a few deep breaths, just a broken jar. What thoughts are coming up here? You know, don't get out of your sovereign energetic balance, because we are responsible for our own realities, what we're thinking, what we're feeling. It doesn't matter what anyone does to us. We have to keep pulling back into our heart, back into our sovereignty, and not saying, oh, because this and this happened, or this person did this to me, I'm feeling this way. No, yes, acknowledge your pain, what has been triggered, that's fine. Drop deeper, what has been triggered, what am I thinking, why am I feeling this, and then release it. Okay? And obviously, if something is not good for us, we have to let them go. If it's a person, a thing, a habit, a belief system, we have to keep letting go. And also the things we believe in, we have to be flexible. You know, it might keep changing along your journey. Things I believed in half a year ago are not relevant anymore. It constantly is an expansion of consciousness. Don't get stuck. Be flexible. And the sovereign energy, being sovereign, also means a sovereign energetic field, in my experience. So I use protection, which is more about, also for me as a very highly sensitive empath, I feel everything. You know, many of us are plugged into the collective, and sometimes, you know, can really be thrown by it, or even just going out shopping. It becomes easier and easier if you really like know what is your energetic field and what is someone else's. And I have found how I do this is through knowing and protecting my energetic field. Any negative energies want to come in, they're being purified before they can even enter my field. I feel sovereign. I can then also feel if something is affecting me that is not mine. I can then differentiate, and I know I can remove anything in my energy field that is not of, you know, benevolence out, because I'm in charge of my energetic field. So if we know what's ours and what's another's, we can more easily deal with it. So if we know, for example, we have some negative energy being directed at us, if we notice it, you know, like I had things happening to me where I could see negative thoughts being projected into my mind. They weren't mine. That was being projected at me as soon as I realized it, because I was starting to think, okay, is that mine? And it's like, no, I don't believe and think like this anymore. So I could then do something about it, remove the source or the effect it was having on me, on clearing my energetic field, sealing it up again, removing any interference that's trying to interfere in my reality and in my energetic equilibrium. Because for me, at least, I've had a lot of interference, and everybody has a different experience. But once I know what's happening, I can do something about it. And that's being a sovereign being. Doesn't mean that, you are not being tested. Of course, we're being tested all the time. But it becomes easier. It becomes quicker to deal with it. We don't keep dwelling in the negative experiences. We let them quite easily go. The negative can't stick if we keep transmuting everything and just taking responsibility for whatever's happening in our reality. And if you're being thrown off center, take a moment, step back, come back to balance, and that again changes our realities. Don't say you don't have time to do it. If you have time to brush your teeth, you have time to clear energetic field. And also protect it, if that's what you want to do. If you don't, and you're of such high frequency all the time, that's fine. If you don't have any, kind of interference, that's fine. Don't do it. I'm sure we will get to a place where we, don't have to do it maybe as much anymore. But again, I feel as a sensitive person, I have to do this in order to, even just interacting with normal day-to-day people, to keep my field clear and sovereign, the energetic sovereignty. So again, that's the energy or spiritual level. Then we also have the physical. We want to be responsible for our own lives, not to be codependent on other people, needing anyone, needing things, needing attachment to outcomes. All has to go. So it doesn't mean that you have to lose all the people in your life, or you have to lose your house or your job or whatever, although that happens a lot on this journey, that we lose everything we've had. I think a few of us can sing a few songs about this one. But it means that we have to emotionally detach from needing anything or anyone to make us happy and free and feeling good. And that's what we have to get to. That's the divine union. We feel whole and balanced within. And when we do this, then it comes into our lives, and it takes as long as it takes. So if we feel we're not there, we don't get frustrated, because that just makes it take longer. So, we keep clearing and we keep upgrading, and the more we can just be in this now moment and not wonder how long it's going to take or what else is going to happen. Just stay right here, right now. We can't control what's going to happen, but we can master the way we react to it and we react to people. That's the mastery we're going to achieve now. And as this, Lion's Gate is really helping us to step into our power, sovereignty, and inner union, beautiful things are going to happen, because that changes our realities. But we have to take responsibility for them. So what we think, what we feel, what we say to other people, how we behave, the habits we have. If you don't like the way your day is going, change something about it. Mix it up. Don't be stuck. But daily putting work into your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being is going to serve you very well, because the intensity, in a sense, it's not letting up. It's just getting quicker. We find it easier to integrate the upgrades and the clearings. But I think, a lot of the heavy, dense work has been done. But again, we will keep, refining all the time. And we keep, being very conscious of our thoughts, because they will, they create belief systems, and that creates realities in our emotions as well. That feeds into how we create our realities. So be really aware of them, master them, keep dropping further within. Write a diary, if things are going on. Sometimes when we look back, things make more sense. And it's also helpful to just, get it out of your head and onto a piece of paper if something's going on. You can also even do this with other people. If you have a problem with another person, maybe write it down first, or you can't have a conversation with them. A way of getting it out and releasing it as well. So we are responsible to do this and to transmute our lower thought forms. And these lower thought forms also, just one more thing about entities and basically miasm, which is really density. And this is based on lower thought forms, which create lower emotions. And this keeps attracting negative energy into your energetic field, but also negative experiences. So we have to be very aware and masterful. So don't blame anything or anyone. Just use it as something that is a catalyst for you. I felt the interference yesterday. It really powered me up to just clear the field and blast it with a lot of white diamond light, and it really did its trick. So, and then you feel empowered because you keep overcoming all these tests and initiations. That's what they are, initiations of light. Just to bring us back to our power. So anything that tries to disempower us actually is helping us to step more into our power. If you can see it like this, you change your perception, you change your reality. It's all about the perspective we have, and then obviously the emotions that change because we are thinking differently. So something that we have in the past been, we would have been reminded of that story that's happened to us in our past, and we still have anger towards that person because it didn't treat us well. As long as we still hang in there, we have some negative cord running to that person. We want to get rid of that density, which is somewhere hanging in our fields, and by bringing it to awareness and releasing it and loving it for the experience it brought us, integrating its lessons, knowing next time, we're going to speak up for ourselves, or we will not hang out with that person, whatever it may be. And that will empower us. And that, again, is releasing that victim energy connected with that experience and this density in our field. Okay, so it's all connected. So we have to let all that stuff go. Forgiveness is the way out of the karmic wheel we have been turning in. Okay, it stops with us. If we would have revenge to the patriarchy again, that just keeps the wheel turning. Debt forgiveness in more ways than one. This will also open up again to receive love, to receive the abundance, because we let it go. We forgive. So become aware of the thoughts that triggered. I said this again, to emotional reactions. If you become triggered, just step away. Become the master of your emotions, where they're coming from. Also, if it's even real, where is it coming from? Is this maybe something I've heard my mother say or my father say, or, it's coming from my childhood, some old belief system. And again, gratitude changes everything. If it becomes too much, go and meditate, become very aware of what's going on in your head, clear your mind with music, and just don't suppress. I don't think we can suppress now because it's just all coming up. I mean, someone was writing the other day, if you haven't cried over the last few weeks, then check your pulse, you are probably not alive. So we have to bring it up and out, and crying or punching a pillow, go scream in the woods, like somewhere where you may, where people may not be able to hear you, or at least where you can't harm anyone. Bring it up and out, but you don't stay there. Keep dropping back into the heart. It doesn't matter how much somebody hurt you and how bad they seem. We are here to bring that in, and that's the divine feminine. It's holding the space. It's the forgiveness. It's the divine love. I love you no matter what you have done. You are deserving of love, and I will show it to you. Even if you cannot see your divinity, I will show you your divinity through a reflection of my divinity, and being that love and being that forgiveness. Now again, we are not, pushovers, but we can still radiate love and forgiveness, although we say, no more. Again, it's that very fine line, and that's what the divine feminine had to learn, and we all have to learn the balancing of knowing when to behave in which way. But we can love is what, makes this universe turn around. It's what everything is based on. It's what all of this is about. Gaia also is the heart of the solar system. This is why there has been a big fight. And this is reflected in our own hearts. And that's why it's so important. We keep opening our hearts and filling it with more love and being more loving and being that which we want to see more of in the world. So I hope that helped. Yes. So one more thing about the serenity, because when we take responsibility for our realities and don't blame other people anymore for it, whether it's parents or partners or whatever got us to where we are at, we also can claim our power of changing our realities. So we have to take responsibility first, and then we claim the power of, for example, when I get angry or frustrated, it's a great empowerer. Like, it really makes you determined to change something and know that we can do it. So we really have to step now also in into our manifestation power. And a lot of this has to do with believing we are powerful. We need to believe that we can live great lives and have all we require and be free and do what we love doing and have great relationships. We have to believe it first. That's why it's important to become aware of our thoughts and work on our beliefs, because that's how we will change our realities, by changing the underlying thought patterns and belief systems. And that is what our realities are based on. So we're unraveling the distortion, clearing it out, transmuting it, and changing it into the realities we want to see. So that's why when we constantly are aware of our thoughts, we can change whenever we think, oh, I'm not enough, or we look in the mirror and we're like, oh, all these lines today or whatever it might be, I'm not, pretty enough. I'm like, no, stop right here. Say to yourself, I love you, Ramona. You're beautiful, and also even talk to DNA, activate, your pineal and pituitary glands to emit rejuvenating hormones, activating your immortality, and again, activating your DNA. We are meant to live a whole lot longer than 100 years. So this is what's available now. Really tap into your self-empowerment of working with your DNA, working with anything that still comes up. Be neutral. Just love all that arises. Everything wants to be loved from other people as well. See what, you still need to see, but have no judgment. It just is at the end of the day. And the more non-judgment we can have and love it, and the quicker we can also get to the bottom of it, because we stop resisting it and keep beating ourselves up for it or beating other people up for it, So this is going to go very quickly now. And the more neutral and loving we can be to ourselves and others, the quicker it will go. That's really all I have on that. I'm sure I could talk much longer, but we don't want to do it because we're at a 2-hour line now. So if anyone still has a question, yeah. One question. Any suggestions on how to compassionately enter marriage? Yeah, I guess it depends on the dynamic. I guess a very open-hearted conversation about how you feel and what is not working anymore, and not making the other person responsible for anything, nor taking, all the blame, but really coming from a neutral point, because, often people come together and you change, and it's not, you are not the people who you were anymore. And it's, difficult because obviously you have so much invested in that life together, and whatever else might also be, connected with that, whether it's children or the house, but to try and make it as amicable as possible. Obviously that isn't always possible, because you might hurt another person, they get angry, they don't want to see you, they want to blame you for everything, and that might be what they need for an experience. You are not responsible for the way they will react. All you can do is come from the most loving, neutral place you can be. And it's always a two-way street. You know, whenever there's blame or shame or guilt involved, no, it's always one person allowing the other person to do something. And sometimes there might not be anything wrong or anyone, you know, it not be anyone's fault. It's just that people change and things change, and we outgrow situations and people, interests. But again, we're not responsible for how they will react. All we can do is really come from the heart and be open and honest and speak our truth and from our feelings, you know. Yeah, don't do it with a post-it note. That's all I would say. or not even saying anything and just, you know, pissing off. Sorry, I just need to bring a bit of humor in there. But yeah, I think we just need to really stand in, you know, and like look at normal ethics of just being compassionate and loving and forgiving and honest. You know, honesty is so huge, because the more honest and the more disclosure we can bring into the field ourselves, the more it will be reflected back to us. Authenticity, being our true authentic self, like, you know, there's only one of us here on this planet. There's only one us. So don't try and be anyone else or trying to be more of this or more of that. No, be you. Just love yourself. The more you love yourself and accept yourself, the more old, distorted habits and patterns will fall away. You know, and speak your truth. Don't be afraid of the consequence, because the truth does set us free. Once it's out, it's usually the working up to situation or having that talk, the worse it gets. Like in my own experience, the way I finished my last relationship was, I wanted to talk to my ex, but he could see it coming, and he kept avoiding the conversation until one day, the next day, he just opens up my messenger, you know, and reads me talking to my girlfriend about it, and then explodes. So anyway, it was the quickest way through in that instance. He didn't want to have that honest conversation. He wanted to blame me for a long time, you know. We have cleared a lot of that up in the meantime, but that was actually the quickest way through in that scenario, because he had to go through those feelings of being the victim. And yeah, you know, you can't make someone else see your perspective. Like, we're still sometimes at odds when we talk about how it actually finished and the reasons why, but I can't make him see my perspective, you know. But I can see everybody is realizing what their realities have been built upon, because he knows how this works, even though he's not into this stuff, and he realizes we are creating our own realities. So, you know, whatever we think about another person, for example, if they're going to react a certain way, or they are a certain way, we keep experiencing that version of that person, but they also have different versions to them. So you have to tune into the version we actually want to see. If that makes sense. So, you know, don't expect an angry or upset person. Expect a person who's happy you're bringing this to the table and happy you're speaking your truth. Not that you will necessarily meet that person that day, but you're feeding their timeline. You're feeding your energy towards that expression or that part and aspect of them, you know, because we all have good and bad days, and we're all sometimes angry, we're all sometimes upset, we all, you know, all different kinds of things. And we can help people most by seeing them in their highest light. That's feeding those highest timelines, because what is now happening as well, as we are accessing privately personal higher timelines, this is accessing, it's also helping collective higher timelines. It's all interconnected. The more we see people just awakening and doing this with ease and grace and behaving differently and not thinking people are all ignorant or closed off or don't want to see, no. Whenever you think that, change that thought, that belief to, no, people are ready now, or they're just waking up. It's just time. You know, see people in the highest light. I hope that helps. The coward to me would prefer that he initiates and leaves. Yes, and then sometimes we will initiate drama, maybe sometimes unconsciously, to have them leave us, you know, be a bitch or whatever else, and be unreasonable and try and push them towards them leaving us. Now, when you overcome your fear, I promise you, you will unlock DNA. You will have an activation just by pushing through your fear. It has happened every time. The bigger the fear, the bigger the activation, the bigger the timeline jump. Like whatever you fear, face it and jump. It's the quickest way through. The more you leave it, the more you procrastinate, the more negative emotions, thoughts, energies are being produced. And especially in this time now, when manifestation is highlighted, you know, you want to focus on the positives. And, you know, if it's something you have decided upon, I would highly recommend trying to find, obviously, a good moment to have the conversation. Even before, maybe you want to write it out, what you want to say. Have that actually, what you also can do is energetically work with it. Have that conversation again, higher self of yours with the other higher self, you know, meditation, get really calm, get very centered, call in your highest levels, your higher self, Christ itself, multidimensional self, and source, you know, integrate and then really connect, have that conversation. And that way also, you're already working with lower timelines sometimes, so you can sometimes maybe even imagine different outcomes and get rid of that fear. So him maybe reacting negatively or angry or whatever it is, becoming okay with it, losing that fear whilst you're visualizing it. And then you can choose another timeline on seeing him reacting a little bit better. Again, moving or releasing or working with any of the feelings or thoughts that are coming up. And then you're choosing the highest timeline of him reacting in the best way you can possibly imagine, and really feeding that timeline with your energy and emotions and see it light up, or, you know, fill it with fairy sparkles, you know, depending on whether you're visual or imagine it. You know, the feeling is really what counts. But we can work with these timelines and having conversations. That is a, you know, timeline as well, having a conversation and really work with it energetically before you even do it. And you might be able to clear a lot out. So this whole thing can go the best it can possibly go. Again, we have no control about how the other person behaves or reacts, but we can feed the highest outcomes, and we can feed the highest feeding our energy to the highest version of that. Dawn raised her hand. Dawn raised her hand. I can't even freaking talk anymore. Okay, I'm glad that has helped you. So Dawn wants to talk. 1 more minute. Very quick toilet break. I'm just going to pause. I'm going to put Dawn on. There she is. And thank you, Monique, for letting me know, because I would not have seen it. Hi, beautiful. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Yes, good. So much better today than I have done for a very long time.
So I actually missed part of what you're just talking about because I lost phone charge, but it's definitely pertaining to my life, so I will revisit that conversation. But my question is in regards to my, we'll say twin, right? I feel, even though we haven't discussed feelings or emotions towards each other, it's pretty obvious. But we are both in the same situation, of course. Where...
Wait a second, I can't hear you. That. Yeah, it just dropped out. Yeah.
Okay.
I heard the first sentence and then it dropped off.
When did it drop off?
Well, it was just like your sound was so far away. Like it's fine now.
Okay.
Just yes, I know you didn't exchange thoughts and feelings between you and your twin.
Yes. Okay. But I feel like we're in the same situation where we are both involved in relationships. Mine is a marriage. His is a boyfriend-girlfriend situation. My question is, once I have a conversation with my husband, will there be an energetic switch for him as well to help him have that conversation?
It's certainly not a given, because I do believe these twin flame relationships, everyone is different, and that you have made different contracts. So I do believe that the ones who have made the agreement or the contract before they came into this incarnation, you know, that says that you're coming together, that you will come together. And it doesn't matter what your current scenario might look like or whoever you're with, that you will come together, and somehow, you know, it's pre-written. A lot of what we are experiencing now, it has been pre-written. Of course, we still have a free will, you know, that's the experience on earth. We all have free will, but the soul moving in now is going to take over. So, you know, as we're connected more with our monad and our soul group, the oversoul, we are all being drawn together because we are here to do work together. For me, twin flame relationships are more about service than anything else. So once it's about clearing out the distorted masculine and feminine, but also about soul growth on both sides. So that will trigger a lot of emotional healing around these themes. So the distorted masculine and feminine, but also obviously ancestral, because a lot of this is ancestral. And because all comes back to this imbalance of the masculine and feminine, the more you work on yourself and your own healing in masculine and feminine, this will always have an effect on your twin. And obviously when we create space in our lives, so let's say we are with the wrong partner or even the wrong people in our lives, and we get rid of them, then the right people can move in. Now, right and wrong being very loosely used here, but you know, it's just to generally explain that. So yeah, we create space, and it, you know, enables that to come in more, but it's certainly not a given. I can attest for that.
Right.
So something else might need to happen for each or any one of us to have a certain experience to heal any wounds and any distortions that are left. So it really is down to soul growth and coming into divine union within. So a person might think they are in divine union within, but they're actually not, and then some other experience or person will come into our lives that will clear out what needs to be cleared out. That's the tree of life, as in we cannot get to the next level and the next experience or a divine union partnership until we have done this within ourselves, and the same is for the other person. So our healing and our balancing out is going to have a huge effect on theirs, you know, and on their healing journey energetically, because this is more on soul level and energetic than it is a physical relationship. And that's what we have to see. It's very different in the fifth dimensional reality and what's going on, you know, in the higher dimensions between the two of you. But I do truly believe what's meant to be is meant to be. But do you know a timeline? Do you truly know it's really going to happen? That's just something you can say, or, you know, I mean, there are twin flame reports. Like I'm certainly not going to tell you either or. But if you feel you are going, you know, that you have signed a contract, if you feel an inner knowing that you're supposed to physically be together and be in service together, I'm sure it will happen. But how and when, that's up to each person's divine soul plan. But the detachment from needing it or needing another person to be happy, that has to fully go out the window. Yeah. There's no jealousy, there's no attachment, there is no ownership, there is no, you know, you have to do XYZ for me to love you. No, these are really much based on non-logic. Your soul knows, your heart knows. And each one of those journeys is very different, I truly believe. But yeah, the self-work, the healing is I think the most deciding factor.
Here's a little something funny for you in regards to telepathy, because you mentioned that earlier. The other day when I saw him, we were standing across each other from a table, and this is not like, it's not a thought that hasn't crossed my mind, but I heard, I want to kiss you. And I'm thinking, yeah, I want to kiss you, but that's not my thought. And then I heard again, I want to kiss you. And I'm like, but you're standing across the other side of the table. And then it was just so weird. And then I was thinking about it during the night, and I'm like, that wasn't my thought. That was his thought. Yeah. But that's when I have the telepathy, usually is with him. So, yeah.
Yeah, there will be very strong soul connection and just a knowing of what's going on with the other person without him even expressing it. And definitely those telepathic experiences are going to come more and more online now, even for normal people, which will be maybe quite overwhelmed of where they're picking up on, you know, a person acting one way and you're getting a whole totally different message maybe in your head of what they're actually thinking or wanting to say. That's the looking beyond the physical. You know, it's looking beyond what's presenting and knowing, trusting always what's coming through as your truth, what you know, because that's what we're here to do. Not believing the illusion of the physical 3D, but knowing the higher truth and really tapping into our own knowing, because that's how we can discern many other situations as well that are playing out, of really listening into our heart and seeing beyond the illusion of what's really going on here. And that's a lot what the twin flame relationship is about as well, because on a 3D level, there's a lot of discourse or separation and all sorts of stuff going on. But on a higher level, that's what we need to tune into. What do I see is really going on? What is that person really feeling and communicating, not what they're pretending to? Because a lot of this has been like more the, the masculine haven't been more closed off, been very defensive, not really haven't been centered in their heart, they've been more in their heads, they made more decisions based on their mental understanding or thinking they're in love, where their heart is telling them something else, and that's driving them a little bit insane. And us as well, we might want to let go of these relationships or feelings for this other person, but something in us just can't. Like, we detach, we don't need them, but this soul connection is always there, and it cannot be broken. It will always be there, even if we don't connect with them, maybe in a physical, and actually come together in union in the physical in this lifetime, that connection will be always there. That also doesn't mean we can't have a beautiful divine union relationship with someone else, because that person has, not followed their soul's streams of what they should be doing or not doing. So that's detachment is so important. We empower ourselves. We don't need them to love us. We don't need them to say us they love us or want to kiss us. We just know, because we can hear their silent whispers. Yeah, it's certainly interesting. Exhausting, but also very interesting. Yeah. And it really tests. Yeah, I think we need to also just have more fun with it now, hopefully. So do not see it as seriously, because once we worked for all the really negative programs, and there's also been a lot of karma between some of the twins. Again, every journey is different, but there might have been a lot going on in the past. And also twins, it's a fire element. So they will, it's a very fiery energy. So there's a lot of passion, but it can also,
oh my God,
flying as in triggering. So there is also a lot of triggering, and forgiveness is key, understanding is key, unconditional love is key. Never mind why we can't understand why they're doing what they're doing. They might not understand what we are doing, and why we are the way we are, but that's why we are collapsing the polarities. No matter what anyone is thinking or doing, we still love them, and we can't help it. And it's maddening, but it's also beautiful. So yeah. Definitely. So I hope that helped.
It does. Thank you.
Okay. I've just seen purple light coming from your hand, Ramona. Woo! No, I wasn't holding. Oh yeah, no, wait. I was. Was I holding this? Might have been that. But yeah, you can sometimes see light coming out of hands. I'm certainly feeling a lot of heat coming out of hands, and you can feel energy come sometimes. We feel energy. The more we are sensitized to it, and the more we clear, the more we can feel energy moving through us. I'm clear as sentience as well, so I feel everything. And this is also what's coming online. We all have the ability to heal. If anyone is into Reiki, you heal with your hands and you let the energy flow through you, but we all have the energy to heal. And all of this is coming more online. Self-healing, everybody's self-healing. That's what Reiki also does. So that's what any healer does. They're just helping you access your own inner self-healing. But yeah, so I don't know whether that was the pen or whether it was just my hands. Okay, so unless anyone has another question, we can just do the last activation. And of course, even after I said this wouldn't be such a long call, it's 2.5 hours now. But that's just how it goes sometimes. And again, watch it in installments, or watch a bit later, or just watch the activations. I will see when the activations come on within the video, and I will also post this next to the recording link, so you can just go straight to the activations at a later point. Okay, I'm just getting something up here. No, it wasn't a pen. Wasn't the aura? Yeah, I've got a lot of purple in my aura because I'm a clearer. I clear. That's what I mainly do. I do a lot of planetary clearing work, and it keeps me very busy. But I know, it's within, it's without. The more we clear, the more this gets cleared. And that's why also in August, I just had to just focus on the clearing and just let everything else be. Because the more we clear, the more the higher experience come online. And that's also connected to the abundance thing coming in, because this is the distortions and interference have prevented a lot from this. Like I just said yesterday, things like money that should have been in my account wasn't there, money that should have arrived wasn't there, and just all sorts of funny things going on, and not to mention the energetic stuff that I could feel. So yeah, we just stay the observer and shine our diamond violet light, which is beautiful for clearing. The white diamond light I work a lot with, or just white light. And just if you feel something in your field or in your body, just depending on what it is, whether it's clearing or healing, would be green light, your emerald light, and Archangel Raphael. You can work with it, just intuition. You don't need to take a course necessarily. Obviously it's nice, but I'm just saying we all have that ability to send healing light to certain body parts. Or what I also have been doing is, when a lot of mental stuff comes up in negative thought patterns, to ask the angels, so again, white light, white diamond light, or fire, and then to ask the angels, my guides, to take out any negative thought programs from my energetic field. Just carry it back to source. You can imagine a big vortex around you, or a portal, or however you want to imagine it. Just ask for assistance, ask for it to be removed, be proactive about it as much as you can. Whenever you feel anything, take a few minutes, remove it, and you feel so much better afterwards, and it really works. So you can work with colors, everybody's different, but it's just, it doesn't have to be complicated to do this stuff. And we don't need to have, a Reiki master. So, okay, I think there are no more questions. I've been having a constant headache for the last few hours. Not too bad, but there's a lot of pineal and crown and back of the head activations going on. So there's a lot coming online. And as we have also noticed, like the activations lately, as the density leaves, so much clarity is coming forth, and knowing and insights and downloads. It's really beautiful. And then memories. So, our gifts and our abilities are ready to come online. LightLanguage helps a lot with that as well. But we're just out in the sun as well. Get your DNA activated. Talk to your DNA. Say, I'm activating my gifts and abilities. Activate my highest quality DNA. Clearing it. Overwriting any lesser DNA. Talk to your DNA. Whether you say it silently in your head, talk out loud. Go into the sun. Drink loads of water. You can support your body obviously with loads of green and live foods. It surely is always a good thing. But if you eat that that piece of cake, for me, that should be also okay. It's mainly about balance. And again, every person is different, and just follow your own inner intuition instead of feeling bad about doing something or consuming something. That's really the worst part about it, is your negative feeling towards something. It's negative energy that you're projecting into the food or the situation or the people. It's your energy towards it. So, if you have that glass of wine or that piece of cake, for example, and there is some program running that thinks it's bad for you, it's gonna have the negative energy attached. If you think like, oh no, that's okay, it has properties as well. I'm not overdoing it. I'm just having this as a treatment because it makes me feel good, not because I need it to make me feel better, but because I'm enjoying myself and I want this right now. There is such a thing as divine indulgence. So I personally don't think it's gonna prevent us from ascending. But yes, if we just eat a lot of crap and heavy dense food, it's not going to help us. Let's say that, you know. So the lighter our body is, the better. But again, it's more the thoughts and our feelings that should be of utmost importance, and of being loving towards other people, seeing other people as equal, respecting other people, and acting compassionately, and being forgiving. That is, you know, the purity of the heart is what's important, not so much what we're saying, you know, eating or, you know, doing as in practicing. I'm not saying obviously we need to be, you know, acting from the highest sovereign place and moral and ethics, you know. So we are not disrespectful to other people, and we don't treat them like they're below us, or disrespectful, or, you know, unkind. I hope that made sense. Okay, now let's do energetic healing of the divine masculine and feminine, especially the feminine. Now, we talked a lot about it. A lot of this has already been cleared, just from understanding it better, integrating it, being here together, this being our intention, and integrating more of the differences here and what has been going on. So if we come back into our heart center, our crystalline, diamond, platinum heart center, connecting to our crystalline heart rose. You can imagine this as a beautiful crystalline, white, soft pink heart rose, opening up petal by petal. And once more, we connect and merge with our higher selves, Christ itself, multidimensional selves, mighty I Am Presence, and pure source-light consciousness. Merging our higher levels, multidimensional levels, in this now moment to the highest degree possible. And connecting once more with our heart center down to a crystalline core of Gaia, Gaia's heart. Her love and peace and codes. We connect to Gaia and the kingdoms and elementals. And breathing back up her love, back up into our heart center, into our energy fields. And once more with our heart, we connect to the sun, central sun, and great central sun. Pure source. Through our heart, connected to heaven and earth, merging this within us, bringing heaven to earth, birthing new earth. Isana serati iki natarate iki nasaratu ushurate akiki natarate isunayena kia kiki natarate aki kia nasanatea I ina sharatu una karase ina karate inatara una saratea rasea kiki nataratea ushunayena kia kiki natarate. And once more we connect, imagine this beautiful diamond, golden, white, crystalline, platinum, silver, bubble of light all around us. Beautiful and penetrable bubble of light, only allowing the highest frequencies of purity and love to enter our energetic space. Filling our aura with pure divine love, purity, peace, joy, balance, and harmony. Permeating every cell of our beingness, our DNA, our meridians, nadis, occipital line, chakras, all of our energy bodies, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, all of our spinal cord energies, every vertebra filled with pure divine love, peace and joy and harmony and balance. Beautiful balancing our energetic field, chakras. Just feeling a beautiful peace coming over us, filling our very core, all of our beingness. And we feel the presence of the Divine Cosmic Mother assisting us in this healing and clearing of our divine feminine wounds, healing the trauma of many lifetimes of persecution, suppression, oppression, enslavement, persecution, death. Not being heard, not being seen, not being listened to, being not valued, isolated, heartbroken. Being used and abused. The Divine Cosmic Mother fills us with her love, with her forgiveness, understanding, holding the space for our pain, for any fear, any blocks, any distortions, any templates, any programs held within ourselves, within our beingness, in our bodies, within our bones and blood. We can feel a beautiful golden, diamond, white, soft pink and magenta light filling up our aura, our bubble of light, purifying all and any density, any miasms that have been caused by trauma, past lifetimes, experiences, any programs, any distortions held, any lower coding in our DNA that have been passed to us from our ancestral lines that have led to distorted behavior patterns, thought patterns, beliefs patterns, all that's been held in our aura, for our genetic line, for other lifetimes. It's all been gently purified and divinitized. All that we don't need anymore is being released back to source. It's simply being burned off, purified with this beautiful flame of pure love and purity. Isuna yena sia ishira taratia yina taratia isina karatia ukuna taratia isina yana sia kikina taratia yi usuna yena karatia ki kuyana kia tiaki ishuna yena hina sira tarate kuyana sia nina saratia su kuna yena tiari sina ye kuna tia I Kuyana saratea rishurateaka kayana ye isana yena tiaki yusura ushuna yena ki kiyastea ina karataratu uyana ye Ekanaseyati naseyati. Mushanayenati. Yunakenati asu. Tanayenata. And we forgive all and anyone who's ever hurt us in this or any past or future lifetimes, across all realities, all dimensions, all existences, for anything that has ever been done to us that has made us suffer, be in pain, lose any soul pieces, any soul fragments. We now, with an open heart, full of divine love, understanding their suffering that they have come from, knowing that it wasn't about us, what was done to us. We understand that everything happens for a reason, and that every situation, any experience can be transmuted through an open, loving heart, and through choosing a higher perspective of our experiences, which help us heal and help us to detach from any people and situations that are not good for us, that do not align with our divine soul path and purpose and our higher self. As we can let go of all that which doesn't serve us and is not in highest alignment with our true divine human source blueprint that has now been activated for these highest timelines now, personally and collectively becoming available to us. We let go of any hurt, any pain, any blame, anything that is holding us back and reaching true peace within. As when we forgive others, we set ourselves free and we set them free. Uyana seratea ishuna karatea yikina tarasea nushuna taratea yi isuna yenakia kikina taratea isuna taraye iuna nasea tiaki rutu ushunaka ekina kirati ina saratea yi ino sana yenakia kikina taratea yi. And we let go of the victim-persecutor mind control programs. We delete them now from our DNA, from our beingness, letting go of any feelings of not enough, of being less than, of not being powerful enough. We let that go. As we claim our power and our divinity and our sovereignty, knowing that we are source, we are sovereign, and we are free. And when we let go of our blame, making other people responsible for our realities, we set ourselves free, and we are once again empowered to co-create our futures in divine alignment with our higher selves and what is good for us. So we may continue in our path through joyful, love-filled experiences, beautiful relationships, as we know we are worthy and we are deserving, that we are loved, and that we deserve love and we deserve support. We deserve to be seen, we deserve to be respected, we deserve to be listened to. We are so worthy as we are. Ushuna yena kira tia istina karatea ushuna yea ki ina tarasea kukuratea istina yena tia ki ikuna yena taratea I isuna yena tarate ikuna yaratea isina taratea ki usuyana se. Feeling the divine feminine energies rise now within us, personally and collectively, claiming our power, our sovereignty, our worth. Usuna yena se, e kuratea ikinata, o yana saratea ki, kiana karatea isuna yea sina karatea ki. We're letting go of any insecurity, any neediness, any codependency, any manipulation, any inauthentic behaviors, being who we are, being proud of who we are, loving the way we look like, loving us, every single part of our beingness. Because as we love ourselves, we love all others, and others will reflect us back to us. We let go of any emotional imbalances and any victim energies now. All back to source, all for transmutation, all lower thought forms removed from our energetic fields, never to return. Ushuno karatea, kikina saratea, ikina saratuya yana saratea, kikina tara, ikina saratu, ushunataya ye. Ikuna yena, esuna yena tia, ikira taratea ki, kiana karasea, ishuna ye. Ikuna hanatea, isina ya. Ukura, ena sea tia, isuna yena tia. Unainati Ishurariati Isinaka Ishtaratarate Ikinatarate. Connecting to our inner goddess, God self, our inner divinity, our intuition, our inner knowing. We are grounded, we are receptive. We are strong. We have clear boundaries. We are empathetic and compassionate. We are the magnetic force. We are supportive. We are vulnerable. We are authentic in all we are and honest, speaking from our hearts. Nothing to lose, nothing to be afraid of, nothing to protect ourselves from, but knowing who we can trust and who we cannot. We flow with our life experiences with ease and grace. We call forth the highest timelines of ascension, personally and collectively. We surrender to divine will and listen to our intuitive knowing of when to act and what to do. In a perfect divine now moment, we are open and we are open to receive all the miracles and blessings and gifts that life has to offer us, all the joy, all the abundance, the happiness, beautiful relationships, positive experiences, living our divine soul's purpose. We trust God's plan. And we know that we are here to co-create a beautiful future for ourselves and for all of humanity. And we do this through mastering our divine feminine and masculine energies within. And it shall be reflected back to us within, fully without, for our realities. Usuna yena kia kikina saratea, ishuna yena kia ikina tarasu, una saratea, yikina taratea, isina yaratea, ukuna taratea, kikina taratea. Ushuna yena kia ki, ukuna yena kia kikina taratea, isina. We're connecting and merging our heart with our mind, balancing, healing, integrating, Our heart within our mind and the mind within the heart. Usuna yena siya kikina taratia isina yana taratu ukuna taraye isuna yena tarakia ishuna ye isharate isina karate ina shakirati ki kurate anisiaki ikinate. Merging, balancing our masculine and feminine brain, our right and left brain hemisphere, merging, healing, balancing. Usuna yena ki iki nataratu, usuna yena kia iki nataratea ishi natarayaki. Activating our lightship Merkaba, a pyramid. You can imagine this as a pyramid pointing up and a pyramid pointing down, going all around your body. The pyramid pointing upwards is on the top half of your body, spinning clockwise, and the lower pyramid interlocking at heart level, pointing downwards, spinning anti-clockwise, spinning faster and faster. Usuna yena kia isina karatea ishina karatu una saratea ikina tarayea nasa naya nasanate. Iuna kuratea ikina taraye ina sanatea shi. Ukuna ye ikuna nenasea kikina taratea kikina sanatea. As our divine feminine forgives and releases any past hurts, experiences, stories, we create space for the masculine energies within and without to heal and for all to come into balance, divine union within and without, harmony, equality, divine love. Usunaya ikiratea ishinaya akaratea ukuratea ihanatuya ye ishunaye nasia ikinataratea ukura usunaye ahi ikunakeaki kuyanakarasea ishunaye ikunaseaki kinatarateaki kinasaratu. Let me now share this with the collective fields, connecting through our hearts and the keys and codes received. And we send us out through the collective human heart grid. Every human heart light up, balancing our masculine and feminine energies, serving the divine child, divine love, divine power, divine wisdom, the threefold flame igniting within our heart and every human heart. Usunaye ishira tarakia ikina saratua ukuna tarayena saratea ikina tarate. Sending out the beautiful divine frequency of divine love and forgiveness and compassion. Usunate, divine neutrality, non-judgment. Usunaye, ikanayena tia ikina tarasu. Sending healing to everyone, open. Usunaye ikanayena kia ikina saratu usunaye aki inatarasea ikina saratea ki. Bringing balance to the divine masculine and feminine within every human heart that is open and willing. Now, usunayena istira tarasea ikina saratu ukunataraye ikina saratara sarate iunana seatia naishanatea kia nitana taratu. Usunayena tia kia nisanate unayani usunatea ki Kunayinati, Isunayinata, Kutunateaki, Usunakeaki, Inataratea, Ishinataratu. And we give thanks to the Divine Cosmic Mother for assisting us in this healing of the Divine Masculine and Feminine energies within and collectively. And for these codes and activations, clearings and healings to keep working over the next 2 days for everyone who has taken part in this, either consciously or for their higher self. And seeing more balance return within and without. More peace, more harmony, more joy, more bliss, more abundance. Usuna yena iki ina saratea ishuna karatea ikina saratea ina saratuya na shanatea ikia tanata. So you can imagine this beautiful bubble of golden, diamond, crystalline, platinum, white light filled with beautiful golden, diamond, soft pink, white light, crystalline light, filling your aura and staying with you over the next couple of days, helping you integrate all these keys and codes received and integrating these clearance and upgrades with absolute ease and grace. And everyone and everything and every place you come into contact with will be infused with that beautiful energy and those frequencies and keys and codes. You can also send this to people in your life just through intent and sharing the love and the activations and the clearing in accordance with each one's divine plan. Usuna yenaki ikana yenatia ushuna yasea ikina taratea ikina saratu una karatea ina sarate ikina taratu una sanatea. Opening our hearts up wide to ever greater levels of divine love, receiving love, showing our love to others, giving love, and experience ever greater levels of self-love. Usunaye, ikanayena sia ushunaye, ikunayena tiaki. We are loved, we are worthy, we are protected, we are carried, always provided for. Usunayena sia ikinataratea isinayana ushunata. Connecting for our heart one more time with the crystalline core of Gaia. Exchanging keys and codes in our love with her. Breathing back up a beautiful emerald essence. Heart energies of Gaia into our hearts and into our fields, into our realities. It is done, it is done, it is done. So it is. Usunake aki ikanatara karatara ushunayinaki aki kinatarate. So I hope you enjoyed that. Filled us beautifully up with a lot of love. We can always call upon the Divine Cosmic Mother or the angels to fill us with love, or bring love to other people we know are not feeling well. No, it's all about intent and just opening up to the love and opening up to the love of others and knowing we are safe. At soul level, we are invincible. No one, it's knowing that what another person does is not a reflection of us. It's not because we are not enough of any one thing or too much of any one thing. It's because, of what they're going through. And all we have to learn is to be more loving towards us and other people, and we will see more love being reflected towards us in return. Because we can't really expect another person to love us unconditionally if we can't do this for ourselves. And it's one of the hardest things, again, we need to understand it's been a long time to get us where we are, and we're in a really good spot now. Okay, so a lot of this stuff is already cleared. This was just to really help us accelerate this, bring a lot of healing, personally and collectively, to those lingering little wounds, because, it's really an onion as we keep coming back, in our healing journey, back to the same themes, just deeper and deeper and deeper. We experience the same kind of wounds sometimes coming up, but it's not that we haven't done the work. It's just that we're going deeper within, and it's also collectively. So everything is interlinked, and whatever we heal for ourselves, we also radiate it out into the collective. So we always, have an effect on everyone through doing our own inner healing work. And it's a beautiful time for it, really. It just was, I could see the 222, it was 2202 here. It's now turned 03, but it's always a good number. So I hope you enjoyed this. So just drink a lot of water, let it integrate. If you want to dance around, dance around. If you have to rest, listen to your own intuition. But yeah, you might be hungry, or you might just want to go to sleep. Definitely try and drink a lot of water today and tomorrow, depending, if you're going to sleep now, or depending where you're at and what part of the day you are at. I don't need to tell you what to do. That's what the whole thing is about. Sovereignty. We know best what is good for us. We need to listen to ourselves, and that can only come if we get to know ourselves. We need to let all that shit come up and out and just look it in the face, even if it's uncomfortable. And this helps us to get to know ourselves. And then we make the right decision. So if we keep suppressing stuff, which is not even possible anymore now, we don't really, make the best decisions, and we haven't learned from our experiences. We're recreating the same scenarios and experiences until we have learned our lessons. That's just the way it goes. You can't move up before you have sorted it out. You keep experience the same thing again. But again, also a lot of this has to do with a spiral. So just because we keep having similar themes come up doesn't mean that we're doing anything wrong. We're just going deeper. Don't judge it. It is what it is. Just face it. Give it loads and loads and loads of love. Allow other people to go through the same. Everybody's clearing, but I also feel now a lot of magic is coming in. This is what this new galactic cycle for the Mayan calendar is about. It's about manifestation. It's about, now that we've gone through this clearing cycle, which last cycle was about, we're now calling forth and calling in and manifesting those higher realities and timelines. So more bliss, more ease, more grace, and we need to believe in it. Okay? To believe the post-traumatic stress disorder, the spiritual post-traumatic stress disorder, as I call it, has to be released, energetically, really, and us also working on our beliefs that good things are coming for us and that we can manifest. We step into our power. We don't do it from a place of we deserve something, but we know our power, that we can do this. And these memories will come back. We are heart-centered. We try and are in our best, highest vibration possible. But if something comes up, washing over it with just being positive doesn't, always do the trick. If it's really something that needs to be looked at, we need to just sit with the uncomfortableness of it as well. We can't wash over it. It just doesn't work. So you can't release something without really having transmuted and integrated it. It just doesn't work. Just by saying, it's just a story, or, that other person just didn't know any better, and I'm sure they have changed, or hoping for the best, coming from that naive place doesn't really help. We need to be really aware of what's going on, tap into our intuition when it comes to other people who we can trust, who we cannot trust, as in, not that we should be afraid of them, but just knowing who should spend time with and who not, and who is good for us and who is not. It's not about someone else being bad. It's just that we want to draw positive experiences to us, which we will do through having a positive relationship with ourselves and having cleared up a lot of these old templates and programs and all of that stuff and those wounds that we have been dealing with. So believe that a lot of this has shifted. Today will have helped a whole lot more. You can listen to the activations again. Loads of water, do clearings, keep doing clearings every day, and working on your energetic field and chakras and all of that, because it's always about more refinement. It just doesn't stop, and then we don't need to do this stuff anymore. Okay, it might change around a bit and you try different things, but generally daily energetic work and clearing is for me like brushing my teeth. I know the difference when I haven't done it, because my day will not be a good day, and sometimes I need more time doing so than others, and there are loads of tools out there and videos and healings that will help you do this. I've posted mine many times before, and there are many other people doing this thing as well. I also do private sessions. I do entity removals. But, you know, whatever it may be, just follow your intuition of who's the right facilitator for you. But it's always nice, you know, again, nurturing ourselves and looking after ourselves also includes getting that massage or getting that treatment, you know, obviously, as long as we can afford it. But this is also a way of filling up our own cup as women, you know, or anyone really, instead of just doing the bare necessity. No, we really nurture ourselves. We fill ourselves up. We're giving to ourselves, you know, instead of waiting for other people to do this, or feeling like we never have enough time, or we never look after ourselves. No, we have to claim this. We have to do this for ourselves. Everybody, men and women, nurture yourself, look after yourselves, especially over the coming weeks and months. Expect the best, call forth the best dreams you've ever had, visualize them, make a collage, sing it out, write it down, bless the paper, you know, do a little ritual, whatever it may be. But make it part of your daily life, to focus on that which you want to create, and not any of the negative stuff that might be coming up now. Okay, whether it's in your own field trying to distract you, or out there in the world. In the end, if we see something crumbling and falling apart, it's a good sign, because it probably hasn't worked. You know, it's the same with our personal lives. If something falls apart, it's for our own good, even if it's difficult to live through. We have to see the bigger picture, and anything that's meant for us will not pass us by. So the control and the manipulation of trying to keep our realities just so is not going to work. We have to flow with it, being the receptive divine feminine, seeing beyond what our realities sometimes may reflect back to us, having the highest vision, following our intuition of what our soul wants us to do. Doesn't make sometimes sense to our mind, but the soul knows best. So follow your intuition above all else, because nobody knows as good as you. So I hope this has helped. Any questions, give me a message. I'll send out the replay in a little bit. And I love you all so much. And I hope you enjoyed it today. And thank you for being here now. And everybody, you know, just being here, anchoring your light, doing your work, hanging in there, you know, not killing yourself or other people. We've made it this far. I think we're going to be, you know, much better going forward, and hopefully have a lot more fun, and also come together in the physical. That would be nice. More of us coming together in the physical. Thank you so much. I love you all. Have a beautiful day. I'm going to unmute you all so we can just say goodbye to each other. Bye.
Bye.
Hi.
Thank you.
Tsunamis of love.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay. Bye. Love you all. Have a magical day.
So beautiful.
Oh, thank you. You are beautiful. All of us. We are amazing. Every time you doubt yourself, say, I am amazing. Just trying, you know, every day is amazing. Give yourselves loads of hugs and pats on the back if nobody else is doing that for you. It starts with us, you know. For us. I love you all so much.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you. Bye. Thank you.